Um, Definitely want to jump into all the good stuff that we got going on, but um, there's a couple of things that we need to take care of when we jump off of this, and I couldn't take care of it before because I had to jump on this, so we'll take care of that. Anyway, how you doing, Mandy? How you feeling?
Like I've got punched in the ribs and in the chest. I'm hurting.
I'm
What?
sorry.
I had a procedure today, y'all. All is well, but I
Oh,
had a procedure and I was not expecting that. So I'm a little tender. But all
Okay.
is well. I had to show up for Amy, so I am here.
Thank
that's
you for doing
right.
that. Let's see. Well, we went through a lot of last week, and we've got a lot going on next week, and we've got a lot going on right now. So, um, I was just going to touch on the event, but is there anything else that we don't have to stay on here for the full? I think we're all overwhelmed right now with stuff going on. So, you know what we haven't done in a long time because it always felt like we are like trying to get in as much info as we can in this hour. How about we start with does anyone have questions about Amy that I know we are usually rushing through here, but
Put them in the chat.
yeah, if there's questions that y'all have been holding. Now would be a great time to throw them in there if you want, and we can try to answer them for you while we're waiting for some others to join here. But
How
and
was
if
the
not,
last Midnight Mystery archive? How was that?
I feel like, truthfully, I feel like we let him down on Friday, and I'm like realizing it today. But like, that's kind of how life is going right now. Like, there's so much going on. It's like everything I can possibly do just to sit down here at 7:30, to do this because I've got so much else on my plate. Um,
I put the word out.
yeah, it was only on one, but we didn't put it up on
Yeah,
and didn't put it out on TikTok and didn't, really push it like I normally do. So I feel bad that we
Kevin,
kind of
we are
dropped the
very,
ball.
very sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I only do this part of TikTok on Tuesday nights at 7:30.
Yep. The
Right
original
before I
cruise ship
jumped
she was
on, I
on,
was
though it's
like,
still.
you know what? This, I can't, like people said, Stacy, sit still and everything. And I'm like, I can't. You don't understand.
Yeah. So we do have some questions coming in here and we'll get to them. So just to back up, since we are talking about Midnight Mystery Archive, on this past Friday, episode 8 came out. And no, we did not push that out like we normally do. Hopefully, you all are in the routine now and know the routine and you remember to go over there and listen to it. But if you haven't, then by all means, go to midnightmysteryarchive.com. And once you're there, you can see all of the options on how you can listen. Um,
Do we have a date for Monstrous set up?
okay, hold on. I'm still talking about Midnight
Sorry,
Mystery.
You're
sorry.
jumping ahead.
Yep. So tomorrow, so you have every Friday, Kevin releases a new episode in his 12-part series. So last Friday was episode 8, and this Friday is episode 9. I listened to episode 9 last night, and it was incredible. So not saying hold out, like go listen to
Yeah, zip
episode
it.
8 so that you're ready for
Zip
this
it.
coming Friday. And then tomorrow is Witness Wednesday. That was something that came about, after the fact, where he was like, I think I need to do an episode that's just dedicated to allowing these witnesses to say their whole story and get it on record without being edited. So there's Chris Fenwick. There's been Tom, who was the boyfriend of Amy when she went missing. There has been Lori, who was one of the witnesses that saw Amy with Yellow on the morning that she disappeared. Last week was David Carmichael,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so tomorrow is Judy Moore. So I would definitely encourage you to make a note to tune in and listen to Witness Wednesday tomorrow. But again, just as a reminder, just go to midnightmysteryarchive.com and from there, you'll see all the options on how you can listen to his listen to his podcast, whether you're listening through Spotify or YouTube or Amazon or Apple, doesn't matter. There's plenty of options there. If you can listen through the Amazon link, if you have a Prime membership and have that ability, we would really appreciate if you did listen to the podcast through Amazon, because that does help him to offset the expenses, that he has incurred from putting together this. There's a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of effort being put in by Kevin, so we want to support him in any way that we possibly can. As
All
far
right,
as
hold questions. We got, because if not, I'm going to be like having to hold my finger here all.
yeah, well, hold on one
All
second.
right.
Hold on one second. Midnight might want to come up, and if so, I promise we're going to go back to y'all's questions. And I don't even know that he is. So just because we were just talking about Midnight, I saw him on there. We'll let him talk for a second, then we're going back and we're going to answer y'all's questions. I'm not going to forget, I promise.
Yeah,
So,
I'll be quick because I got some work to do, but I thought I'd hop on.
yes.
Oh, hi, Kevin.
Hi, Stacy. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How about you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
I don't know. Have you been listening for a while? Did you listen?
No,
from
I
the
just
beginning?
hopped in.
Yeah, I was just explaining. I do feel bad. I wanted you to know that. I felt like we dropped the ball on you this past Friday because there was so much other stuff that was going on. It was like it got to Sunday night and I'm going, oh, Lord. So I know we didn't push that out like we normally do. Hopefully people are in the habit and they went and listened to episode 8, but I was just trying to catch everybody up to say, hey, I think we didn't push it out like we normally do, but go and listen.
Well,
and then
that's all right.
talking about Judy.
It
tomorrow,
showed
and then
up a
episode
lot
9.
somewhere else. It's been showing up a lot in the feed on that other social platform.
Good. So
Oh,
go
good.
ahead, Kevin. What do you want us to know about this week or last week
So-
or anything?
Tomorrow is the full interview with Judy, and I think people are going to learn some new information about that. Anybody who has watched any of the shows previous, like Disappeared, the Netflix show, probably think Judy's experience was just that experience in the bathroom. There's actually more to that story, and she's going to go into detail about it, and I think it's really important for people to hear.
The whole story.
Yeah, exactly. And then in addition to that is Friday is episode 9. And episode 9 is going to get into analyzing some of the theories around Amy's disappearance. And, there's a popular theory that, maybe Amy jumped or fell, and I will dispel that myth quite strongly, I think, in episode 9.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to record that tonight.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And so there's just, a lot of good stuff happening. And then I had an interesting thing happen today that I thought I would share. So I was going to do a Ask Me Anything on the Unresolved Mystery subreddit, which I've been a member of for like 15 years. And technically the rules don't prohibit me from just doing it, but I wanted to be respectful of the subreddit, and I asked the mods. I said, hey, this is what I would like to do. Would you have any issue with me doing that? And I was told, yes, we would, because that's a solved case. And I said, well, do me a favor. Why don't you go let the family know, and why don't you let the FBI know, because I'm sure they would be glad to hear that.
Any response after you said that?
No, it was it was a little nastier response than that.
Okay.
Nice.
I wonder if they just
Thank
got
you.
confused. I mean,
So what my plan is now is there is an AMA subreddit, which is actually much larger. It's a little harder to get to the people who would have an interest in it, but it's a much larger audience. So my plan is I will probably set up an AMA there as well,
Okay.
because there's very few limitations there.
All right. Well,
I like it. I like it a
thank you
lot.
again for all. We will make sure that we get the Witness Wednesday pushed out tomorrow, and we will certainly get episode 9 pushed out this Friday. And we just told everybody what to do. Go to midnightmysteryarchive.com and listen however you listen to podcasts. So,
Oh, just as an FYI too, Sandy, you were kind enough over the weekend to get me in touch with Carrie
yes.
on the Monsters Pod. So actually, I'm going to do a Witness Wednesday with her because we're in a unique position. We're actually working on this series and this story at the exact same time.
Yeah.
So I think kind of getting a little bit of background on how we both came to do these podcasts will be really enjoyable for everybody.
Yes. She sent me a message today and she was like, do you have any insight? Do you have any and I'm like, no, you're both good, kind people. Just to have a conversation. And she's like, I don't know why I'm nervous, but she loves you. She's been tooting your horn ever since. She goes, I just love listening to his podcast and his voice is so amazing. And so I was like, yeah, I think that'll be really good.
Yeah, so it'll be an interesting thing to listen to. Hear two different people who are coming at it from two different perspectives, but are also coming at it kind of using the same type of resource, which is the people that were closest, right?
Yeah. And as I said before, to the people that don't know on here, this, to me, I love this for one, it's because it's getting the story out there. And when people say, well, that's from the Bradley's perspective, that's the perspective that I want to know. I don't really care what a troll thinks. I don't really care what a hater thinks. I care what the Bradleys thought and what they were experiencing and them telling those details, because that's actually what matters. And so what you two have done and are doing is allowing the Bradleys to have a voice and for the witnesses to have a voice where their statements aren't being edited. You're letting the information actually get out there the way it was always intended, to be. So that's great. And yes, with Monstrous, hers kind of focuses, kind of top lines it all, which, I love when, they, for 28 years, we can only imagine how many times that the family has repeated that story over and over again. And so with her podcast, it's something that you want a top line, like the big story, which are the same questions that family gets asked all the time. Here, go listen to this podcast. There you go. And then if you want a deeper dive, then now go over to Midnight Mystery Archive. If you've got the basic story down, now you can go and really dive in deep. Now you can go and hear that. So to me, you both did something completely different, but yet work together beautifully.
And it's funny too, because you mentioned something, about the Bradleys hearing, having a voice in this and, really helping to kind of guide it with their information. The thing that people fail to realize here, and I think it's a really important point, and I think my episodes have done a good job of laying this out. Royal Caribbean failed them.
Yes.
The FBI failed them.
Yes.
The only reason there's an open case today is through them and the work that they've done. And that's just the cold hard fact.
Yeah.
So the fact that their voice hasn't been heard in this type of a format that both she and I are doing, is honestly, it's a crime, because they're the only ones that have the information.
Right. But you have to also, we didn't have podcast back in 98, right? Right. So it's like technology has evolved and we do have new opportunities and new ways to get it out there. You really relied on the media back in 97 and 98 and they didn't get it right. They take something that said, they turn it around, they put the wrong information out there, still happening. We've even seen it happen in the last, 12 months and they don't fix it. You can ask them all until you're blue in the face to say, hey, you've put something out there that's not true. Can you take it down? Can you edit it? Can you nah, they don't. So, what you all are doing is how we can make sure that their voices are being heard. And it's not just the Bradley family. I feel that strongly about those witnesses because you can hear it in Lori's voice. You can hear it in Judy's voice. You can hear it in David's voice that this matters to them. They've carried this for all of these over 2 decades for some of them. I know Judy is not as long, but, David and Lori, they've carried this for 28 years. And it's like when they do speak about it, their conversations get edited. Not everything is told. You only get bits and pieces. People form opinions about them, don't think that they're credible, blah, 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 right? So you're allowing them also to have a voice. And that's commendable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, friend.
The people who find it hard to believe that these witnesses are true and everything, they find it hard to believe because these witnesses are, I would say, a lot like me. They don't want to have all this attention on them. They don't.
Mm-mm.
they didn't ask for it, and they certainly. Which one was the one who let go of social media? Was that Lori? Because of
Lori. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's just a cruel, cruel, cruel world, and
Because she had the nerve to tell people what she saw.
exactly.
That's her crime in the eyes of social media.
Right.
Let that sink in.
Yep. And then all these different stories, just like, oh, they were drunk and everything. And then I was telling someone yesterday, I was like, it's sad that we as a society do not take people at their word anymore.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, but
It's
you honestly, well, if you're talking to someone, the amount of stuff that we deal with on a day, trying to figure out who's actually for the Bradleys, who's not for the Bradleys, who's working for us, who's working against us. Like, it's like, man, we're just trying to find a missing woman.
yes.
And it's like navigating all of the other stuff, like to try to get through that is like, I don't know. Sometimes you feel defeated, but
I
we
think
just
all
have
the
to,
hate people are the ones who want the attention.
yeah, but
They're the ones who want attention.
yeah, but you know what? That's a handful of them. We don't,
Yep.
I mean,
You're right.
thankfully, after we blocked all of them, we don't hear from them, and that's a good thing. So, and I think that was a good
Yeah.
move on all of our part. I think there was a time that we felt like we needed to respond to them. And it was like, when you really backed up and looked at it, it's like the same 6 or 8 people. Okay,
Yeah.
let those 6, 8 or people go do what they're going to do then, because you know what? Look at all of the love that the Bradleys have gotten, through Midnight Mystery Archive, or, even about the Monstrous podcast that's coming, or the event that's coming up, or, what have you. There's definitely way more love and support for the Bradleys. Why would I waste energy and time, focusing on the people that are going to continue to say, horrible things about that family? It's not getting me anywhere. So I just got to, it was irritating for a long time. And I know Brad and I both felt like, no, we just have to get out. But it's like, no, my life is a lot more peaceful now. So
Yes.
I'm going to keep it that way. Okay. All right. Well, I know we're going to talk about the event. I think Mandy's probably not feeling well, but I can jump on but thank you
All
again,
right.
Kevin. We'll make
I'll
sure
see
we
you
push
guys.
out Witness Wednesday
Thanks.
tomorrow and episode 9. And
All right.
just so you know, I did send, the other thing that you asked me about, you want to cover as one
Yeah,
of the episodes. I did send that, but I think we've all just been very overwhelmed.
That's fine. That's fine.
I
I
did
can
share
always
it.
squeeze it in however it works out.
Okay.
But I do, when I dug into it, I'm like, yeah, I do want to do this.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Nobody else has. That's why I think it'll be a good.
Yeah.
Okay. All
All
right,
right.
friend. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thanks, Kev.
All righty. Okay. So before we go into the event stuff, because that's, I am going to scroll all the way back as far as I can to start seeing some questions because I said I would.
I got you. Candace Dixon is the first one without any info on the case. Any good tips pointing towards Amy? That's the first question.
Without giving info on the case. Any good tips pointing towards Amy? So how I'll answer that, Candace, is first of all, Stacy does not like for us to tell her. She likes to be kept in the dark. So I'm going to
Hold up.
Yeah. I'm just
Wait
gonna
a minute.
Yeah, there's definitely some things that have been happening. There was, I think that's how we've kind of gotten behind right now, and we're trying to catch up because when things do come up, you have to stop, drop
everything
and address it. So there was massive things going on last week, and they're continuing this week. I got a 23-page report on something. And then it is, we have teams of people on basically every island. And the island that I'm speaking of, I will even say it's not even one of the islands that the family, which we've always said that. We've always said, we don't know they move people around. They do this, they do that. So it was not an island that the Bradleys visited, another island. But something came in. The team got out there, the team went and addressed it. The team is still looking into it. There were some difficult things as far as not being able to see tattoos, not because they aren't there, just because of the way clothing was on. There's some scars that Amy has that we don't talk about in the public. That's kind of our thing to, that we hold to ourselves. And so there's some things like that. This person is being looked at. And I know that they were going back trying to, I will say that the Bradleys and I, when we looked at the photo, it was not our first instinct to think that it was Amy. So I will say that, but I can also say that I understand why we need to follow this through and make sure. It has been 28 years. I do not look the same as I did when I was 23 for sure. And so we're looking into it. I know that they were going back and trying to get a DNA sample. So that kind of stuff happens all the time. We're not going to come on here and give you every single detail and tell you this is where we are, this is what we're doing, this is who we're looking at, this is where this person was. Like, we just can't do that. One, because if it's not Amy, we don't want to be harassing someone. So that's one thing. But also, if it is Amy, we have to keep Amy safe and keep trying to get to her. So that's where we're at on that. So there's things like that that happen all the time. I know that's probably not the answer that you wanted, Candace, but this is an open investigation. We just can't come out here and tell you, hey,
personally, I just want to let you know, I think you said a little bit, more than you needed to.
That's based on you, because you don't like to hear anything. But I didn't say anything that.
Okay, you said that again. So just to be clear for our people who are watching, I choose not to know every detail because of it's. I don't want to go through another. I can't go through another roller coaster.
I know.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows. Yeah,
that is to. Absolutely. That is not because of any other reason than it is hard for the people that are, Stacy is Amy's best friend. It's hard for Iva. That's her mother. These emails come in
stop.
every day.
You're going to make me start to tear up. Stop. Well, all right, next question.
But these emails come in, and it's going to the team. There's a team of people, but Iva is one of them, and Brad is one of them, and Ron. And so it's like, I can read that and hate it, but when they read it, it's different because it's Amy's parents, it's Amy's brother. They've been at this for 28 years. And so I can see something and actually read it differently and go, oh my God, this is exciting. And then, they're like, well, it's probably just going to be more disappointment. So, there's all of these emotions that go into it. But I'm just saying, as far as we constantly ask y'all for leads and tips, I know that anything that we are ever able to share, we do. We put it right on out there, and but some things are very case sensitive, and we just have to hold those cards close to our chest. Okay, so sorry, Candace, that's probably not your best. Okay, so any news on the Monstrous podcast? I delayed the Monstrous podcast.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I feel I listened to it last week. It was recorded, and it's one thing to read it, and then it's another thing to listen to it. And so then when I listen to it, not because of Carrie's got that soothing voice like Kevin does. So I kind of melt into Carrie's podcast. Like, her voice is just amazing. But I'm realizing that there are some things that might be confusing to the listener. And so I want to fix that. I feel like we have come this far and done all of this work. Like, we can't just be like, well, we're tired and exhausted, so just push it out there. Like, that's not the right thing to do. Even if we have to take a step back, I think we were pushing and pushing and pushing because we wanted it to come out on Amy's birthday. And I think that's kind of where maybe some things got dropped because we were just, but you know what I told Monstrous was, we're past the birthday. That's gone. At this point, now we're back to putting out the absolute best possible thing we could ever put out there that is 1,000,000% accurate and really helps people to understand there's so much to this case. This is not, been going on for a week. This has been going on for 28 years. And one of the things that I haven't even talked to Monstrous about, I'm telling y'all, and I don't know if she's on here or not, but one of the things that I talked with Iva about, that I'm going to talk to Monstrous about, is that before you eat dinner, you have to set the table, don't you? And as I'm thinking about this, even when I'm thinking about other people, from Dr. Phil to Unsolved Mysteries to, I don't care, anybody that's ever done anything, I think the most confusing part for people, and that the questions I constantly hear people going, all right, no, explain this. Like, what did you, is that there's so many characters. You know, we're not just talking about 8 people, and it's easily identifiable to say 8 people, you know, and talk about them. No, we're talking about literally, I mean, if you think about it, the people from the FBI, the people from Royal Caribbean, the people in Curacao, the people from the Bradley family, the witnesses. I mean, there's so many characters. I think that we've got to do a better job of explaining who the characters are, so that when you then hear the story, you can almost have like a cheat sheet of like, oh, because there's even 2 Ians. You have Ian McLeod, who's the security officer, but then there's also Ian that did the photography. He's the one that says that the photos were there and he had to reprint them. So when you're listening to it, though, when you don't at home and you don't know that there's 2 Ians, that's confusing. So that's why I said we're there. That girl has done amazing, amazing work, but it was probably one of the hardest conversations I've ever had to have with somebody, because, you know, I wanted so badly to be like, I love it, it's perfect, but it was like, no, we have to make sure this is right.
That's really good. That's really, really good, because, you know, it's got, you know, the viewers needed, I mean, people need to know that this was something that is a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of input from the Bradley family is this.
But it's
so
easier.
There's no more to be of this crap. Well, they changed their story once again, blah, blah, blah. No, it's.
And for me, the most important thing is I really want people to understand it. That's the most, and 50 years from now, when you and me and Brad might be, Iva and Ron, when we're not here, I want them to have something to go back and be like, hey, you know, we never talked, you know, let's bring up old cases. There you go. I want them to go and say that is spot on. That right there is every single detail based on evidence. Like anything that we ever send Kevin or we send to Grind, you know, Laugh and Grind, he's same way. And Monstrous, like we back it up. Like, here's the documentation, you know, like we're not just making stuff up. Here's this report. Here's that report. Here's this receipt. Here's this. So they have it so that we give it to them so that they can have 100% confidence that they're telling the story correctly now.
Exactly.
You know, they pull stuff off the internet and they think they have the story correctly and they don't. So that's okay. We're helping them and we're going to get it done. But that's the update on Monstrous. I pulled the plug.
Don't worry. If we don't get answers in our lifetime, I know Abby and Jaden will get them.
That's right. So I apologize. The Monstrous delay is certainly 100% on me. She is so kind and so sweet, and she's understanding. She knows how important this is to me and how important it is to the family. So we're going to work on that, and then we'll let you know when we're going to get it. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you right now. This is probably not the best news either, but we do have this massively big event going on next week here in Chesterfield. There's a lot of moving parts right now that is happening with this event. I know I've said it before. I don't ever mind telling you again, but we work full-time jobs. This is not what we do all day long. Stacy and I both have full-time jobs. And matter of fact, I have 2 full-time jobs. Stacy's got a son that's in football and every other sport probably in America. You know, I've got a daughter. I'm in a band. Like we're involved in other things outside of Amy. So we give this as much time as we possibly can. But right now we've kind of focused on this event because there's so many things still that need to be done. And then Iva is going to be out of town, and then I'm out of town right after that. So that's probably not going to make anybody happy. I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to get to everything, but it's a lot, and that's all I can say. So as soon as we have Monstress ready, I will be the first person to jump, for joy to let y'all know that it's all done. Look at my face just turning red. I'm like, I feel bad for Monstress. Did you see my face turn red? Like it
Yes,
makes me
I
think
know.
so.
I was like, I noticed it. It's very red. I did
I'm
say
like, it
see
just,
that.
it gives me, I hate it for her, and I
Yeah.
hated having to call her and say, I mean, it's just been so much time and so much work and so much effort. And for me to have to call her and say, I think we need to do a little bit more work. It was just like, so I hate it, but I'm so appreciative of her kindness and her understanding. So, all right.
Well,
So
we have this right here to say too. If something is not correct or whatever, then I mean, at least none of it will fall back on her with her voice. It's her everything, because
yeah,
when I say I'm really referring to you and the Bradleys are making sure everything's legit,
right.
and correct. You know what I mean?
Yep. So someone said the original cruise ship, was she on? Does it still sail? Yes.
Yes, it does.
It's Rhapsody of the Sea.
Sailing, believe it's in Tampa right now is what I heard last.
Someone, Stacy said, can you tell us a memory that's not been told before that you have of Amy, funny or sentimental? Have you been over there thinking about that?
Well, I will tell y'all this. I have a memory that I do not and will not share, because it is a memory, and it's actually more corny than anything, but it's a memory that her and I share that she should remember, I would hope, without a doubt. So I saved that one just for my own personal verification that she remembers me, because,
Okay.
does that make sense?
Yep. I know what you're talking about. So, yep.
Yes. And then the best memories, and it's you've heard them, but what's so unfair about 1998 is, and what people don't realize how more privileged you are, if you will. If you could hear that girl sing, oh my God. And I wish I could pull these memories. I mean, like, I can see her on the stage. She always had a hand in her pocket. It was like her nervous thing. She always held a hand in her pocket while the other hand held the mic.
Yes.
And then, like on the first song, and then she would get warmed up, and maybe after a beer in her or something, she'd loosen up and everything. Because, I mean, she also would sing, Push It and Baby Got Back and all that jazz.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And just so you know, one of the places that Amy loved to do karaoke is a place called Caddy's, CADDY''S. And they still do karaoke. All of these years later, it is still a karaoke bar. They do karaoke like Tuesday through Saturday. And I went in there and was talking to them, new owners, not the same owners when Amy, used to frequent there. But I asked them about possibly providing some gift cards for the raffle, at the event. And they were like, absolutely. We were younger when this whole story was happening, but people come in here all the time that still, know Amy and know the story. And the bartender there at Caddy's.
Oh my God. Girl,
she knows.
Why are you saying, wait.
She knows Amy, and but when I talked to her today, we are going to talk. I told her I had to get through this event because I can't take on anything else. But we are going to talk about maybe doing some karaoke events there at Caddy's for Amy. So that's to come. So as a singer, I loved listening to Amy as well. She had a beautiful voice. We were both in the restaurant business as well. So you had that same kind of cycle. You get off work, go to the,
yep.
You go hang out somewhere else. So yeah, she definitely does have an amazing voice.
Which means we'll have to get Mr. Chuck involved as well. You and Chuck should do a duet.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, I get notified. All right, so I'm kind of going through and just seeing. Yes, tomorrow is Witness Wednesday with Judy Mora. So yep. All right. Were there any other questions in there that I missed? I'm trying to scroll through real quick. I think we might have gotten them. I think these are all just nice comments, so we appreciate that. That's nice.
My favorite is a memory Brad told while Bob back was when she broke up a huge party. Yep.
We need to get him to tell that story one time. That is hilarious.
She protected her baby bro.
That's right.
Sort of.
All right.
All the time.
One of Amy's roommates. Oh, Bird. Bird reached out.
Bird.
Yep, and she's is this Amy's mama? Nope, this is not Amy's mama. We are Amy's friends. We are Brad's friends. We are the Bradley's friends. So, all right. I think we got all of the questions here. I'm just trying to go back through. I don't think that we missed anything. So if we did, feel free, but I tried to scroll back through there. So I think we answered everybody's question.
All right, I got you. I have taken over the chat for questions now because my girl, Mandy, is tender.
Yes, she's not feeling well. So, real quick, I'll just use these last few minutes just to talk about next week's event. We are in it to win it, and I'm so happy with the way that this has all turned out. If you're here in Chesterfield, the event's going to be at Wrexham Hall from 11:30 to 2:30. This is the only traditional bed and breakfast in Chesterfield County, so it's just a beautiful venue. Of course, all things work together, which is always wild, but we didn't know that when we went. We didn't know this, when we went to tour the venue and see it, but the owners of Wrexham Hall, their kids went to school with Amy and Brad over at Byrd High School, which is awesome. I went to Manchester. I went to Providence Middle School with Amy, I moved over in the 8th grade, so I was only there for 1 year in the 8th grade. Then we all went to Manchester High School, but Amy transferred over to Byrd High School during the 10th grade year, so that's why she ended up graduating from Byrd, and that's where these kids from the owners of Wrexham Hall, their kids went to school with Amy and Brad over there at Byrd. So that was pretty awesome. But we really tried to just sit and think about Amy, the things that not only that Amy loves, but the things that Amy likes, or the things that make us think of Amy even. So there's a lot of things that we've put together, and it's come together beautifully. I know some of these things that, do you know why she transferred? Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say the
Mama Bear.
I'm not going to say the person's name but there was a teacher that was aggressive with Amy and put her hands on Amy. I'm not talking about in a sexual way. I'm talking about an aggressive way. And when she did, Iva and Ron Bradley saw it along with every other parent.
It was her coach.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm not saying names, Stacy. Yeah, Iva and Ron came off of the freaking bleachers, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you can imagine Iva, you all see how Mama Bear and Papa Bear over there are with their kids already. So if you can imagine them witnessing this person doing that to Amy, yeah, that was not a good thing. So yeah, that was it. So Amy they stayed in Creekwood, so we still saw them all the time. But at that point, Amy went over to Byrd, which was a good thing for her actually. So because of the basketball and all of that, I mean, she ends up being the very first person, not female, I'm saying male or female, very first person that ends up getting a full scholarship at Longwood. And she had many options. She had, she chose Longwood because it was closer to home, but,
because she had VMI, right? Or no, what was it? It was VMI.
Mm-hmm. She had several. So that was a good thing for her. But anyway, that's that story. I'm trying not to say too much because, It is.
It was in the past. It was,
Yeah. So it is what it is. But all right, where were
and
we?
we probably played basketball against each other, maybe in middle school, because we are the exact same age and we graduated the same year. However, um, you know, I don't remember. Just as nervous as I am to do these things, that's how I was when going into a game to play basketball. I would be shaking so bad.
You have Can we all just stop and give Stacy a round of applause? Like, you were not even speaking when we did the first. You said like 2.2 words. And look at you now. Look at you now.
Yeah.
Like, you have
It,
like stepped it up and you are on here like killing it with me every week. So I appreciate you. These things are hard to do. It's much easier when you got a partner in crime. So, I appreciate you very much so.
well, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have made it a little bit more comfortable, but I can tell you that this is not my thing. Not at all. This is hers. I mean, like, she is made to do this. I mean, she's amazing. The voice, the looks, everything. She's the full package deal.
No, but I do have a media background. I have done it for, 28 years. So it is a little bit more, it certainly wasn't natural to me back in 1997 when I first got my first media job, but I had to learn it and I'm not fantastic, but I'm a little bit more comfortable with it. But you've done amazing for someone who doesn't do this on a regular basis. You have done phenomenal. So I appreciate you. Okay, so back to this event, some of the things that we've done. It is a beautiful venue. There's a decorator that has come in and offered their services. We didn't ask for that. The hall got in touch with this woman and told the story, and the decorator reached out and was like, I want to help. We were like, okay. She's also the same decorator is bringing a photo booth. So when you go into the photo booth and you take your photo, you don't see it, but when it's printed out, it will be a photo of you and Amy. And it'll have the amybradleyismissing.com website on that. So I love that people can spend 28 years for people to get a picture with Amy. So although this isn't a current picture of Amy, at least they're getting something to take with them and, kind of relive those memories. And so that I love. Will the event be live? I'm not going to do the whole 3 hours. We got a lot going on that day. There's tons of stations that are happening. So I'm not going to be live for that. But when we do, before we go to the actual raffling of the prizes, I am going to go live and I'm going to walk you all through it just so that you can see it. Maybe I might even do a quick video or go live before it actually happens so that y'all can see how it starts, but we have these English bulldogs that are coming out with an organization that homes bulldogs, and Amy loved bulldogs. So it's a really cute fenced in area so we can do that and not have to worry about the dogs going anywhere. So that's good. We have face painting going on, and we also have rock painting going on at the same little station. And those rocks are being painted, your typical river rocks that you would, paint and place somewhere. People are painting those rocks to then give to the Bradleys, and there's kind of, whatever message that they want to paint on those rocks, they can do that. And then
like Amy's garden,
yeah, she can put them wherever she wants, but that's, if she wants to put them there, great. They're little small rocks. So, we'll see, but we have that happening. We have a saxophone player that's coming. Amy played the sax and was really good at it. Can I take a bulldog home with me? So, Carrie, you cannot take this bulldog home because you know who's bringing the bulldogs? Susie. And you know what Susie I'm talking about. So these are actually her bulldogs that she's bringing. But the organization that she's coming to represent is called Ring, RING, and all they do is home bulldogs. And Susie has like 6 bulldogs. And they are, she got every single one of these bulldogs from this organization. So you can't have these bulldogs, but you can get information about getting a bulldog. And I think it's time for you to get one. I think it's about time. I know it's your favorite breed. So yeah, so go talk to Susie. Hopefully you can come. I'm not sure of your work schedule, but hopefully you can come.
If those of you, if you're on Facebook or a part of Amy's Army, you should be. If you're in the official group, you should be also a member of Amy's Army. But share out the event because we want to make sure it reaches everyone or anyone who knew Amy that may not have heard.
Right.
I'm
going to pull out, because we're getting close here to the time, so I'm just going to pull out my handy dandy notes here and tell you. So I told you all about the bulldogs coming, the face painting and the rock painting. We have a lemonade stand. That's really not so much affiliated with Amy, other than Stacy has a really cute son that we think can make people give bigger donations. So we're doing that. We'll have the Amy Alert petition table will be set up. We've got some things that we're going to be handing out. Someone gave forget-me-not flower seeds. And so we've got 200 of them to be able to pass out to people.
That's awesome.
I know. We've got like the yellow pins that are the ribbon, but it's a pin.
Yeah.
We got somebody gave us like 200 of them that we can pass out. So there's, we've got wristbands. There's all kinds of stuff. I've already told you about the saxophone player. We have a book of hope where you can write messages of prayer, of hope to Amy and to the Bradley family. So that will be for them. We will have Amy's car out there on display. We have that little red car that is also one of the raffle prizes. So we're planning on setting that up and doing some cute photo shoots out there with the Bradleys, but her car will be there.
I didn't know if you want to raffle a ride in the Miata. No, you can't. I don't think we can. Insurance. I mean, like,
yeah, I don't
lot
know.
to think about. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So here are some of the amazing prizes that we're going to have at this event. So, and we will have food. Oh, there's one thing that I did not put on here. Let me write it in here before I forget. Somebody put this idea up yesterday, and I freaking...
Was it to raffle you?
No. I freaking loved this idea, and I immediately went and asked Iva, and she was like, oh my God, yes. We're going to have a letter writing station. And
yes.
Yeah, somewhere we've got a study and we've got a library, and we're going to set, like, Amy wrote letters. That's what she did. It's 1996, 97, 98. There's no social media. There's no texting. None of that is around yet. So you really either called somebody on a landline or, cell phones I got my first cell phone in 97. So it's like right there at it. But people relied on writing letters. So there's a station.
Fun fact real quick, back in the day, it wasn't snail mail for us. It was mail. It was fast. Mail. It was fast. That's what how much the times have changed is like, well, that was fast for us back then. Y'all think it's snail today.
Yeah. So we'll have stationery that's set up, and it'll be appropriate for if you want to sit down, Stacy, and write a quick letter to your sister, by all means, do it. We'll have stationery and envelopes and stamps and all of that. But we're also incorporating a part of that. It's for kids. We've got these cool little, almost like a little award thing, but it could be to grandma for being the best grandmother. So, the art of writing a letter is really lost. I asked my daughter to send out thank you notes after her baptism. And she was like, do what? How do you address it? And I'm going, oh my God. So I think the art of writing letters and writing cards, that's something that Amy would love and appreciate. So we are going to have that little letter writing station. So here's our prizes. I'll wrap this up on this part. So of course we have that little red card that looks just like Amy's. We have a signed football. We have 2 Michael Kors purses. We've got a portable basketball hoop. We've got a $100 Ticketmaster card. We have a barbecue smoker. We have a couple of O'Toole's gift cards. We have some Annie Ruth's gift cards. We have a Yankee Candle bundle that's got a bunch of different candles in there. We have a telescope. We have a 50-inch TV. We have a bundle of bulldog stuffed animals. This is going to be super cute. We've got a bunch of Crumble cookie vouchers. We have a Richard Petty driving experience that came from Richard Petty himself.
Nice.
Yes. The Hollows gave us a foursome of golf with the cart. We also got a one-night stay bed and breakfast at the Wrexham Hall, which is where we're going to be at. They are a bed and breakfast. Lowe's has given us a grill.
Yep.
We have a friend up in Pennsylvania that has sent down a bunch of grill supplies so we can do a grilling basket. We have a sound bar. We got Regal gift certificates, Sweet Frog gift certificates, Chick-fil-A, Applebee's. We got the Reserve and Riptide. We got Raising Cane's. We got a golf cart caddy. We got some Yetis that are coming. We got a Bluetooth speaker. So there's a ton of stuff that we have been able to rally. So when people are like, why are y'all so busy? Because we were doing all of this. So that's what's been going on in our world. So we're still working on some things. We still have some food to get ordered this week to wrap that up. There is someone that's donating a cake, and they're making the cake in the shape and colors of Amy's Longwood basketball jersey. So we'll have pictures all around of Amy as well. Her jersey actually will be there on display. So I want people to walk in here and feel like Amy's all around them. That's what I hope and pray for. Like, I want everybody to look and say, oh, like the cupcakes have basketball, on top of them. There's other little things that you should see, incorporated all through there. But that's the goal. I want people to.
And we'll definitely take some pictures so those who couldn't be there those who, if you're in Chesterfield or in Central Virginia or even in Virginia, please stop by. You should stop by if you're close. But for those who are, in Jamaica or the islands or outside of Virginia, we'll definitely have pictures and stuff. But don't let that be a reason for you not to come because you'll see pictures. And I know that there's a lot of stuff going on in May: weddings, barbecues, graduations. My niece just graduated. Hey, you don't have to stay the whole time. Just make an appearance. Just show your support that you stand with the Bradleys.
So I think, so today, I haven't even told you this, Stacy, but something else I got accomplished today is that we set up a Venmo for Amy Bradley is Missing. Yes, you have the GoFundMe option as always, but GoFundMe actually takes a percentage of that money. I don't know if most people know that, but they do. That's how they run their business. So I set up a Venmo for Amy Bradley is Missing. So people can still donate to the GoFundMe if they want. We don't care. But if you want to bypass that and not, have fees taken out of your donation, you'll be able to send money directly to the Venmo.
Well, speaking of GoFundMe too, I just want to, when you see that is what the amount has been. That's what the amount has raised. That amount is what's been raised over 28 years. That's not the balance of the account or anything of that nature. That is what's been raised in 28 years. And it's
nope. That GoFundMe just started last year. They have the Amy Bradley is Missing Fund, which is just the, like the checking account.
They've had that GoFundMe for a while.
Abba said that came out after somebody started that after the Netflix show last year. Maybe there was another one.
Maybe I'm an idiot.
It's
quite possible.
Look, it's a lot of information, but
it is. My bad, but I'm pretty sure.
No, she had said somebody after they knew it was going to get like worldwide attention and people were asking, how can I help? And it was like, all right. So she told me that they had set that, but it could have been another GoFundMe. Maybe that's what's confusing, but no, it's attached to Amy's account though, that gentleman oversees. So she's always had that account, the Amy Bradley is Missing Fund. So people, can donate and it goes in there, but it hasn't
that
been
might
easy.
be what I'm confused about.
Yep. You can write a check, and I don't have a check. I haven't written a check in 10 years. So nowadays people want to send you money through Venmo, through Cash App. or the GoFundMe, whatever they want to do. So we're making sure that that happens. And I think the last thing I'll end on, we're not positive about it, but we do know that there are a lot of people that aren't here in Chesterfield, would love to come to the event, would love to participate. Buying raffle tickets is really not easy because these items then would have to be shipped, and that's costs that I don't want to incur. Like our whole goal is to raise money. But I was trying to think of a way that people that are online and supporting us, but can't be at the event, can't buy a raffle ticket. I'm thinking about doing a 50-50 raffle. So stay tuned.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I think Ron and Iva and I talked about it today. That's why we got the Venmo set up. We're going to get Cash App set up hopefully tomorrow. And if you don't know what a 50-50 is, when people put money in and let's say $7,000 gets raised, one name is drawn from all of the people that donated and one person wins $3,500. The other $3,500 goes to the Amy Bradley is Missing. So that's what we're thinking about doing so that we can, incorporate the people that can't be at the event. So, because so many are like, I wish I could participate. I wish I could do this. We need something for those people to be able to do that. So anyway,
Yeah.
So that's it, friends. Were there any last minute questions that I missed?
Well, we can do gift cards through snail mail.
There's no grand prize. There's just a bunch of amazing prizes, is what I would say.
I think I know what she was hinting at, and I wish the grand prize would be there.
Yeah, I know. Let's see.
I really
All right.
wish.
Okay. Well, I think we caught everything.
This was another emotional one for me. So
I'm sorry. I think everybody's emotional right now, and I think we're all running with no energy. So I'm definitely in need of a vacation. I've got that coming up in a few weeks, and I'm like, I'm just going to completely shut down that week. I need it. So
and there will be none, whatever this is called. No, I'm not doing it by myself. Nope.
Yeah,
nope.
we'll take
Brad
a break.
can do it with me. I'll let Brad do it. I mean, Brad will host it because I don't have. Nope.
Yep.
I'm just putting it out there now.
Yeah. I can answer that for you about what happened to Bella. Bella came to us and said that, whoops. There we go.
Came to us and said, whoops.
Yep, sorry. There's a puzzle piece that you have to put in there if you go over your time. But actually, you know what? That doesn't need to be discussed on here. If you want to ask me privately, I'll be happy to tell you. Okay, so last but not least, if you don't know, you can always go to amybradleyismissing.com. That is the official webpage. Once you get on that webpage, you will then see a link tree that is also on there that gives you links to a bunch of other things. We have a supplemental website called missingamybradley.com that you can go to that provides a lot more of the case information there, and it's detailed and laid out perfectly. Our friend Stormy did that for us, so that's an excellent website and resource to go to. The Amy Alert petition link is over there, so we'll always encourage you to please go and sign that. You only have to be over the age of 13. You can bypass when it asks you if you need to donate. If it asks you for a donation, you can bypass that. That money's not coming to the Bradleys. It's going to change.org. So feel free to bypass it. We just need your signature, but I can tell you we have a bunch of different elected officials that are pushing for the legislation now, which is amazing to seeing this finally come, starting to be worked on and really being pushed. And hopefully some things will be able to be announced here soon. So we'll get there. And then let's see, there's other stuff over there as well. The GoFundMe is over there. The email is amybradleyismissing@gmail.com. You can always send leads and tips directly to the email. You can send them through the website. You can do that. The phone number is 1-804-789-4269. That's 4AMY. So 1-804-789-4269. You can always call and leave a message as well. But that website will tells you Brad's X account. Yeah, it tells you Brad's X account. It's got our Facebook pages. It's got our Instagram pages. So feel free to check that out if you need more information. But we're here every Tuesday night at 7:30 for this Amy Bradley live forum. So I'll put the link up in my bio as soon as I get off of this so that you can register for next week's. And I will certainly download this and we will upload it over on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is at Amy Bradley is Missing as well. Can you bring me back up if you can? All right, hold on. Well, Lord have mercy. Hold on, girl. I'm trying to get you.
It's a puzzle piece. It is a puzzle piece.
Thank you,
We
Sandy. I just
appreciate
also
all of
wanted
our
to
faithful listeners.
all of our army. That's exactly right.
Mhm.
I just wanted to put out there that there is a separate email address specifically for Amy events at Amy's Awareness Army 930 at gmail.com. If you are in Texas or, Utah or anywhere, and you have a connection to maybe a chain somehow, feel free to reach us out there if you would be interested in assisting with any raffle items. You can get that information here on TikTok with Singing Sandy, but if you prefer to email, you can email again, Amy's Awareness Army 930 at gmail.com.
Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you do, girl. We appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, friends. Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We're going to wrap this up and we will see you next Tuesday. Make sure you listen to Witness Wednesday tomorrow with Midnight Mystery Archive. And on Friday will be episode 9. All right. Have a good one.
Good night. Love you.
Love you. Bye.